Oh, to the garden. It's a New York sound like we in the garden. Huh? Everybody with a check ain't certified. If you look behind these shades, you see a murder house.
Hey, my creatives, what's going on? You already know what it is, man. It's another edition of Cuts. You know what the Cuts stand for? Culture, urban technology, and sports. Yes, it is different. Once again, we have our guest, singer, songwriter, Grammy-nominated, multi-time Grammy-nominated engineer and producer in the building. We got James Artissen. Am I correct on that, sir?
Yes, sir. You got it.
Yeah, right. We got James Artissen in the building. James Artissen, what is good, brother?
Oh, man, blessings, man. How about yourself?
Can't complain, man. We here, it is, man, season 8. I believe we're on this will be episode 197.
Wow.
No, actually, yes. No, actually, sorry, excuse me. Episode 198. Episode 197, we had Catherine K. Nunez in the building. So now we have you, sir. You're in the building. Let's just get right into it, man. So if your life were a song title right now, what would it be and why?
A song title. Ooh, that's a good question. Off the top, I would say unorthodox.
Okay, let's dive into it. Let's expound on that.
I would say that because my not only life but career has always been unorthodox in a sense of it's never been one specific way. It's never been more of a blueprint or anything like that. Like I've always pretty much kind of made my own opportunities, and I've kind of always went my own way and my own path. So I never followed anybody. I've always kind of stayed in my own world, and a lot of ups and downs, a lot of wins, a lot of losses, but it brought me to where I'm at now and who I am now. So, I have no regrets.
All right, no, that's what's up, man. It sounds like to me that you've pretty much been a Swiss Army knife. You know what I'm saying? I think any creative, in this space now, in 2026, hands down, a bar none, you know what I'm saying, doing multiple things under the umbrella of their brand. You know what I'm saying? Also, too, for you, it definitely shows merit and also, too, perseverance. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Of you getting through the many skills of your craft. That's definitely dope. And you definitely mentioned about the 3 Grammy nominations. How did each one change you differently? I know. Listen, I know, James. Listen, I'm sorry I didn't give you the prerequisite when it comes here to Cuts. Yeah, we, over here at Cuts, we're pretty different. We're pretty different. We don't want to know about your exes and if there's a BM or how many times you drank a martini at happy hour. We don't really we don't do that here. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. But yeah, but definitely let's get back to that question. You know what I mean?
Oh man. Well, the first time I got the first one, of course, was an amazing feeling. I would probably say, again, unorthodox, more of a surprise to me than anything, because you never really know if you're going to get it or not. That's first and foremost. So that was kind of my thing of, okay, cool. Something that I jotted off the bucket list, I accomplished that, it's amazing feeling. And then, once you start getting into more opportunities and more of your work, working with other artists and other people, it's just kind of that thing of you want to keep going. And, you don't stop until you start hitting your goals, even more and more. So at that point, I didn't even think about nothing else. It was just more of the work, just trying to get to the next levels. And I really wouldn't say it changed me in any way. It just kind of, maybe in a sense, made me more hungry to want more and to stay more consistent and to figure out, okay, how am I going to elevate what I already built and make that bigger and make that stronger and just stay creative.
All right, all right, man. Now listen, man, let's keep it a buck though. Let's be honest here. How many times, what's the over under that you rehearsed the acceptance speech? Let's give it a buck. What's the over under? Let's keep it a buck. Let's the over under.
You know what? I never practiced it, man.
Okay.
I'm really a person of, I speak from the heart. You know what I mean? So I'm usually off the cuff with a lot of things. A lot of people probably wouldn't believe that because I'm a very intelligent person. So when I speak, people listen and they think that it might be rehearsed, but I'm I'm off the top when I speak, man, because it's really what I feel.
I mean, yeah, I mean, as you should. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, man, I think the best, music artists or songwriters thereof or producers, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you had to have some kind of intellect when it comes to like conveying, the music and what you're putting together in a
Right.
song. You know what I'm saying? The theory. I definitely have to understand music theory. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my students over at RSA. That's one of the classes that they go over. You know what I'm saying? Music theory, just alone to understand about how does this song go together, or even a song that is a hit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that there's an automatic science of making a hit, but still, going into it, you know what I'm saying? How much are you understanding to know that, okay, what are the components? What can go well? Does this word, is this word the synergy with this word? You know what I'm saying? In that regard, nah, that's what's up, man. Yo, let's go with this, man. What do you feel, music, where's the hardest lesson that you learned with this music in your career?
The hardest lesson.
Yeah. Ooh.
Man, there's so many lessons in this game, but
speak on it, brother. Speak on it, brother.
But you know what, man? For me, I would probably say the biggest lesson of all is patience and trusting the process, and not necessarily being so hard on yourself. Sometimes you got to realize, man, everything isn't going to come fast. Everything is in timing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And those are the things that I had to learn, throughout my journey. And you got to hit your head a couple times to understand what you need to do and what you don't need to do. You know what I mean? So that was a lot of what I went through. But the biggest piece of it all was just learning the patience and the grind part and the build up of what you're trying to accomplish, because nothing is overnight. I know a lot of people might think people pop up out of nowhere and this happened, that happened out of nowhere, but somewhere there is a build up.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I could definitely attest to that. I mean, even for me, you know what I'm saying, even though my original dream was hoop dreams, you know what I'm saying, to play overseas professionally and stuff like that. But then, in my mid 20s, you know what I'm saying, definitely caught the bug. Even though, even in my earlier childhood, it was told to me, hey, I think, Kareem, I think he needs to go into entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Because the way my personality was boisterous and how animated I was and everything, that magnitude. And then, I just shout out to my mentor, Doc, you know what I'm saying? He just told me, he was like, yo, man, you need to go into entertainment. And I was like, you know what? Let me come into it. And then, over the years, building on my craft and just overall, just going through the experiences of what I went through. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a refreshing feeling especially when you start getting the accolades, or for that matter, when you start seeing the growth of your success, of what you created with your craft. That's definitely, a great thing. If you could give your younger self one piece of advice or artistic advice, what would it be?
Piece of advice. Again, patience, but really, even past the patience part is really like, and it's almost like I remember growing up, I've always been a sponge. Like I was always that nerdy kind of kid, because I love to learn, and I love to learn about damn near everything that was around me. So whether it was music, whether it was fashion, whether it's technology, whether it's songwriting, music production, the arts, anything that had some type of entertainment level to it, I wanted to learn about it, and just life in general. But I would probably say to my younger self, sometimes you got to slow that down, and sometimes you got to focus on one thing, perfect that to get to the next thing, and then to the next thing, because before you know it, that's where your resume becomes your worksheet. So you go back to your worksheet to fine tune whatever you started on, and you create more. So that's probably what I would say, is just pace yourself, and be strategic about each step in life.
Yeah, once again, my creatives, how it's been, the last 8 seasons with Cuts, that's been one of the main pillars of conversations with our guests that come up here and speak to us. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand with this game in this industry, patience gets you a long way. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just saying of an old school way, of a new school way. This is just true to a testament to whatever generation that's, gone through this industry. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, microwave is cool, but then again, where's the longevity with that? You know what I'm saying? But also too, with the microwave, you have to keep up with that. You know what I'm saying? Versus, okay, you know what? Here's the plan. We're going to stick to the plan. We're going to stay with it. We're going to see what we can do to make this go longer in our careers. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. That's what's up. What's your definition of success today versus 5 years ago? Ooh. Yo, shout out to the Remo Marac brand team, yo, pre-productions, let me tell you, we be just going through it in pre-productions, but yeah, definitely go ahead, man.
Look, trust me, I understand, man. I understand.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, I would say success to me now means your consistency. You know what I mean? Like, can you sustain what you've built? And are you consistent with that? And what I mean by consistent is whether it's your art, whether it's your content, whether it's you just staying consistent in front of your audience, you're consistent in your audience engaging with you back on whatever you're selling or you providing to the public, all of that is important. So that's what I think success is now these days. I don't really get too hung up on how many numbers somebody got or, what's their following or none of that. Like that really doesn't determine real success.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, man, success, it's a broad-based word, right? It's one of the many broad-based words out here in this society, out in the world, right? Because it depends on what that person, interprets or perceives success. You know what I'm saying? It depends. You know what I'm saying? It could be by numbers. It could be by resume. It could be by, even track record. You know what I'm saying? A track record of the success. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's many, power hitting players out here who, okay, social media wise, they don't have the engagement like that. But damn sure, best believe they're behind the scenes.
They have a resume.
They have a resume and they're making moves and they, say, and that's why I tell people, a lot of people that come to this game, like, yo, I get it with social media. I get it that social media is a powerful marketing tool, and as well as for some, it's their life source, right? But damn sure, best believe, don't let that be the blinder when it comes to meeting somebody, or if you're in a room with somebody, in a powerful room with somebody, and just think, oh, because they're not on Instagram or TikTok or Snapchat or whatever have you, doing the facade, just because they're not doing the facade don't mean they're not, moving and shaking behind the scenes. So, what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
You definitely got to be careful when it comes out. Because I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? I witnessed it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've been at network.
And everything is subjective too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely subjective.
Like you said, everybody got their own ways of thinking and their own opinions and what have you. And who am I to say that's wrong? You know what I mean? That's how you feel about it.
Right.
But I also know that, we also are in a time of, again, content, engagement, audience, algorithm, you know what I'm saying? So to me, those are the things that kind of determine your staying power. And especially in the music business and the entertainment business, that like there's a new person coming out every week. There's a new song coming out every day. So, what's the retention on each person paying attention to you? You know what I mean? So that's what I would kind of reference into the success part, amongst other things when it comes to that, you know what I mean? Like, how can you retain somebody being interested in you?
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the caveat right there, man. I mean, listen, I think I had a talk a couple of episodes ago with Debonair. Shout out to Debonair. You know what I'm saying? I expressed it and said, yo, man, this in the industry, it's so saturated. Even for me as a media figure, you know what I'm saying? Even though if I critique, or for that matter, for whom I cover, it's so many artists to cover. You know what I'm saying? And for me to be realistic, you know what I'm saying? I do my best to cover as much as possible, but in the same token, it's like, okay, if let's say within a week, I covered maybe 10 to 15 artists. Let's just say that number, right? Okay, by next week, there's like 30 other more. You know what I'm saying? So then now it's like, damn, I did that. I did the content for that. I chopped it up. I edited it. And then, okay, here we are with cuts. Okay, come here with the cuts. Gotta come here, record, edit. You know what I'm saying? There's so much to do. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, yeah, how do you retain the attention of somebody with your content? How do you answer the new why? You know what I'm saying? That's the key thing right there. And also for me, that's why I've changed my tune when it came to artists or those that are creatives in music. I changed my tune a lot because I'll be like, yo, man, it's too much. It's too much, you know what I'm saying? Even for the artists themselves. Yes, they do have an accountability. But as far as like harping on this like big total blame on them, it's like, yo, man, you don't understand what they're going through right now, what they're battling. You know what I'm saying?
A lot.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're in a city like New York. Okay. The minimum artists that are here is like, let's say minimum 1,000. Let's just say, I'm just putting a number. It could be more. The minimum could be more. But you're that 1 versus 1,000. That percentage is lower than 1%. How are you going to, accomplish like going over them or skipping ahead of the line? You know what I'm saying?
And another thing too is because there's two sides to it. I think a lot of times people think they want to be an artist and they think that they want to be in the music business, but in actuality, they really don't because a lot of people don't have the bandwidth to be in it. You know what I mean?
Say that again, brother.
Or it could be a situation of they have talent, but again, they're not built for it. You know what I mean? So sometimes people get stuck in these lanes or they think they want to be in this particular lane when they should be in a different lane, right? And then sometimes they don't get into that different lane until it's too late.
Yeah, man. I mean, man, that's why it's key to research, man. I think, and I get it, you know what I'm saying? We're in a time of technology where the research, guess it's because it's attainable, but then, hey, why do I want to go through all this work? You know what I'm saying? You see the ones that are killing it. You can say even the ones that are microwave. There was somebody on their team that researched some kind of research to put into their plan to be successful. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just, oh, nah, skip that. We won't do this. No, they researched. You know what I'm saying? You say what you want, say what you will. The ones that research, the ones that thoroughly understand the field of their industry are the ones that succeed and they flourish. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Like real talk, man. That's what's up, man. Yo, let's walk us through your creative spark. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to inspirational hits, or does it whisper or hit like a lightning bolt? Take us into that, man.
Oh yeah, it definitely hits like a lightning bolt for sure.
Okay.
Once I get an idea that I'm hooked on, it's not gonna go away. I gotta get it down. I gotta, get the wheels moving, before I move to something else. So that's definitely usually how it happens. Or sometimes I might just start on something and then I might get stuck, or I might just kind of put a pin into it, leave it alone for a second, come back with some fresh ears, and I might have a better idea. So sometimes it all depends, but there is a lot of times when that lightning bolt hits me and I'm like, okay, that's it right there.
Nah, that's what's up. Let's definitely stay on that. Dude, is it more so like lyrics or melodies that hit you first? Like, take us into that, or do you ever want to ghostwrite for the other person? Like, take us into that.
Actually both.
Okay.
Like a lot of times I might start with a melody first and then the lyrics come, or the lyrics might come first and then I might come up with the melody structure or the top line. So it depends, but most of the time I'm starting with the melody because that's the most easiest for me to start coming up with the concepts of what the song might be about. But then past that, I'm always collaborating with other people too. So whether I'm writing for somebody else or they're actually writing for me or collaborating on the records together, like I've never been the person to be the one man band.
Right.
Like it's sometimes you just can't. Like you gotta have other ears involved.
Yeah, and also too, man, it's just I've been in the studio, like, as far as watching, I have some producer peoples and stuff like that, peeps, and I just watch their magic, how they put things together. And for me, I know one in particular. I remember like Eli Turbo. I remember I was during when I was filming, we had filmed a project. They were doing a collab with the UN. You know what I'm saying? They were doing a music collab with the UN, and I'm just watching them behind the boards, like the synergy and just like moving this dial and moving this around and putting the lyrics together and the harmonizing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like astonished. I'm just like, wow. I ain't gonna lie. Me, real talk. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'd probably mess up a couple songs. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because just to moving around, like I would lose focus after a while. You know what I'm saying? Even though I am a creative too, and then even too when I do edit my own content, there's times I'd be having to take a break because I'd be like, oh, hold on, all right, whoa. Whoa, hold on. All right, let me get back into things. So I give producers and engineers all their props in the world, man. And also too, you got to also manage the egos of artists. Hey, artists, hey, it is what it is, artists. But yo, you got to manage the egos. You know what I'm saying? Real talk.
That's a fact.
Yo, what's the most unique thing you've recorded in the studio that absolutely you had to keep? Ooh.
That's a tough one, man.
Hey, listen, I know, James. I know. Listen, Remo Land cuts pot. I know, James. I apologize. Listen, my creatives. Listen, I know, Remo. How dare you and your team come with these come with these topics and questions?
No, it's great questions.
Yeah,
man.
right.
Questions. I mean, it's just tough for me because I've had thousands of sessions and thousands of ideas, but you know what? I would probably say maybe a standout session that I had was with I remember it was with Katy Perry.
Oh.
And it was insane. Like it was probably the only session that I ever had where everything was one take. So
Katy was on hold. Katy was on hold levels.
Vocals was one take. The production was like all in one. Like there was just no breaks, no chops. We just kind of went for it, and it just came together naturally. I'm like, wow.
We have to call Katy Perry One Take Perry. Hold on, son. Just like One Take Hold.
I don't know what was going on that night, but we one take that thing.
Oh man, that sounded like a home run session, yo. Damn.
Sure was.
All right. Ever written a song you hated in the studio and then you was like, you know what? I'm definitely gonna keep that later. Was that ever a moment?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
sure.
Let us know about that. What was the process going into that?
A lot of times, like when you record records with artists, or even for me myself, you might just be messing around. Like you might just do a ad lib track or just a track just to like do random stuff on it, right? And sometimes it takes in that one take that you did that you be like, how did I do that? Right? And you end up keeping it, which is supposed to be miscellaneous, but it ends up being one of the main parts in a record. And that's happened a lot to me, not only for my stuff, but other artists that I've recorded and worked with. So sometimes that's always the best way to do it, because it's kind of it's random. You don't really know what you're gonna do. You just kind of spitballing, but sometimes that makes the best stuff.
Nah, that's what's up. Yeah, no, I could attest to that, I guess, on an editing standpoint or a producer standpoint with content and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? It may be like even on my recaps, if I go to an event and I recap, you know what I'm saying? Despite that, my increments when I film are like probably 15 to like 30 seconds, right? But the reason why I do that is because I don't want to overlap with content, because when it comes to editing, I want to at least like pinpoint and be precise with what I do, and also too with the music I use. Because even with shockingly, when I'm filming, I'm editing, so it's like in my head, I'm already knowing like what song I want to go with what I'm filming. So at least like, all right, when it comes to the editing part, I don't want to keep like searching and then put it and placing, the content where I need it to be so it could hit on the beat. You know what I'm saying? So I could definitely test and understand that. What's one studio habit you think all producers should drop immediately?
A studio habit.
Mm-hmm.
Smoking.
Okay, take us into that. Like, no, real talk. Like, take us into that. What do you feel? Why do you feel it should be dropped immediately?
Well, me personally, there's two reasons. So for one, and again, it's all subjective. Some people are very creative when they smoke, right? Me personally, I'm not a smoker, but the first piece is when you smoke in a studio, most people don't realize that smoke gets into the equipment, which means that over time, you're going to have to replace certain things because of that. So, for example, let's just say the artist is smoking in the booth right by the microphone. That smoke is going to get into that microphone, which is going to mess up the dynamics in the coils and everything in that mic that you're going to have to eventually replace.
Right. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
And same thing with speakers. It's going to get into the speakers, so that's one piece of it. The other piece of it is I'm just a stickler of I need to be sober. I need to be 1000% when I'm creating instead of under the quote unquote influence.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I mean, listen, man. I mean, as you said, it's subjective, but you know what I'm saying. When you're one that you're trying to set not the mood right, but it's also too you're trying to set the standard. You know what I'm saying, of that session. Each producer is different. You know what I'm saying. You do your best to understand what would be the best vibe for the artist, so that progression could go forward. But in the same token, you know what I'm saying, when you're one that you're setting a standard, you know what I'm saying, because your understanding of, okay, I need to make sure this equipment is key for your session so I can make, your product the best possible and also marketable. you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Afterwards, you know what I'm saying? So, that, hey, listen, man, if it's, hey, no smoking, guess what? It's just no smoking. Figure it out.
No smoking.
Chew gum. I don't know. Drink water. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Look, you can smoke right after the session, but in the session, you got to keep it clean.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. What about, all right, not to be funny, but what do you feel about food, like chicken wings? You know what I'm saying? That's why I've been hearing. I've been hearing anytime it be studio session, that'd be the number one thing: chicken wings and pizza. Like is that
that's usually the go-to,
right? But is that with your standard? Is that something that you also be putting into play? Like, hey, look, I don't want the food around, or is it food you let be around?
Well, when I record personally, I don't really eat when I record. So I always eat after I record. But, some people are different. But, from experience with working with different artists, it's usually pizza and chicken. Pizza and chicken.
Chicken tenders, chicken wings, flat. It gotta be flats, right? Hey, listen, my creators, I know, right? It gotta be flats, yo.
It gotta be flats.
It gotta be flats. I figured.
It gotta be flats and some pizza with a couple toppings, and that's it. And some Coke.
Hey, there you go, man. There we go. All right, I want to know from you, man. Let's see. Which one can we go with here? Hold on, give me a minute. All right, what's more important in a song? Vulnerability or memorability?
That's a good question. These days is you gotta have something memorable.
I feel it. Yeah.
That's kind of the consensus. I mean, that doesn't go all across the board, but for the most part, if you got a memorable chorus, then most likely you'll get some attention. But me personally, I'm a stickler of vulnerability because you are connecting with the audience and you're relating to them and they're relating to you, and you can still do both at the same time.
Right. Yeah, no, I want to know, do you feel in these current times social media kind of diluted vulnerability in a sense, or do you feel more so it tweaked it in a way that, you know, an artist may say, all right, you may ease back from being vulnerable versus, you know, with the memorability or having that moment, that one moment in the song. You know what I'm saying? What say you?
Yeah, I think it has diluted it a lot because of the influx of music that's coming out daily that's just really talking about nothing. You know what I mean? Like I think about it in the sense of like what is the not only the song structure, but what is the conceptual structure of the song? What are you talking about? What's the topic? You know, like, and I'm not talking about songs that just talking about random different stuff and you don't even know what the hell they mean. We talking about real life experiences or something that actually happened or something that is happening to somebody somewhere in the world that's for real. That's those are the ones that people feel and remember, you know? So I think a lot of that is have been diluted. Not to say that it's not there because there's a ton of artists that still have that style of music. But in mass, it has been diluted.
Yeah, nah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, I think because also too, if we want to take it to that point, you know, just with music alone, right? The timing of music, right? Like nowadays in these times, it's either oriented to the time structure of social media. You know what I'm saying? Beforehand, you could get an actual 3-minute song, right? Let's keep it at that. Just like an actual 3-minute song. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But now, because you know the attention span of society, majority of society, and also too with how social media is orchestrated as far as when it comes to the content and the clips, now it's like, all right, you're doing a song that's like half. You're doing like maybe under a minute and 30 seconds. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
crazy.
If that, or you're doing a 40-second song, right? Not saying 40 seconds, not you're purposely aiming for a 40-second song, but for the content itself. You know what I'm saying? So what point in the song do you make that memorable so that it gets replicated and gets pushed again and shared and across? It's crazy. It's bugged out.
It is crazy. I mean, it like for a 40-second song, I mean, that's not even a song. That's an intro. You know?
Yeah,
That's
but no, but I
crazy.
mean, you know, that's the way things are out here. You know what I'm saying? And also too, it kind of in a way I could feel somewhat of the pain of an artist. Not pain, but I guess you could say frustration. You know what I'm saying? Because you're spending at least minimum 10 hours in a studio, whatever type of studio, doesn't matter, you know, luxury studio or a home studio, right? You're
Yeah.
still putting in the hours to figure out, like, all right, what can I make that will stick and it'll be it'll be lifetime, it'll be long lasting, and it'll be marketable, right? So now you go in and do it, and then you find out, dang, yo, this song that I put my all in, maybe like 3-minute song I put my all in, I really should have just put my all in this minute and 20-second song. Yo, it's tight. Yo, I be feeling bad for these. I be
Yeah.
feeling bad for these artists. But it also too, same thing with me as a content creator and a media personality, same thing. You know what I'm saying? There's times even with cuts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I do push out the full episodes, but then there's times like, all right, I gotta find something that's like pivotal. You know what I'm saying? It's a moment
Yeah.
catcher. You know what I'm saying? Even with the
Yeah.
clips,
And,
there's certain
and and that's the
clips.
sad part. That's the sad part about it is you gotta minimize the creativity of what you created for a moment.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But that also goes into the dilution of attention spans.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like that's really what it boils down to is people's attention spans. Like this is the reason why these platforms have changed their algorithms and their ways of consumer accessibility so much because they're trying to keep people on the platform as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to do that, you got to change the model.
That's tough. Reinventing the wheel, changing the model, that's tough, brother.
It really is.
That's tough because at the end of the day, it depends on it really depends on who is willing to be the difference maker, right? And then with that, how much are you upkeeping of the difference that you're making, and also too, how much are you really making an impact in the infrastructure, and not just infrastructure of the industry that matter to, but also to the infrastructure of the technology. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it depends on how many are changing into that. You know what I'm saying? It's tough. Yo, the people don't understand. Being a creative is tough. Yo, it's create or die, literally. Literally, son. It's create or die. Motherfuckers don't be understanding. But let's go with this. Let's go with this one right here. If you could ghost produce for any artist, living or dead, who's your dream partner?
Dream partner.
Yeah, as far as like if you could ghost produce. Like let's say if there was another producer that you would want to like be in the booth with, or for that matter, or an artist. You know what I'm saying? You did mention about Katy Perry, but let's say for going forward, who would you want to ghost produce with, and also to the artist?
If I'm talking about the artist, then it would have to be Michael Jackson.
Ooh, that'd be crazy.
But producer wise, man, I mean, Q-Tip, Jay Dilla, Pharrell Williams, Max Martin, Dr. Luke, Nile Rodgers, Kanye West. You know, there's a lot of them.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. What's the one myth about producers that makes your eyes roll? You be like, yo, it's not what it is, man. Like take us into that. What's the one myth that people like get misconstrued when it comes to producers?
That most people are producers. And what I mean by that is, you know, there's a difference. There's a difference between a producer and somebody who just makes the tracks or makes the beats. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know, to be more specific, the person that makes the beats, you're a beat maker, you know? But the producer is the person that's involved in the entire process of that song or that project. So you're in charge of the production. You're in the process of the mix of the song, of the master of the song, of the songwriting, of the song structure, of the concept. So pretty much you're involved with everything around that song until the public hears it somewhere.
Right. Yeah, that's what's up, man. I think, man, it's just so many, because you know what it is too? Because the entryway into this entertainment industry, music, doesn't matter, media, actors, or whatever have you, is such an easy entryway into this now, right? So now, you know, just like you said, it's no, now I want to say standard, but it's no, it's the best word I could say, not professionalism. It's like no, like, it's like no real respect for one's craft as far as like a producer, right? You know, like me, even though I do say a producer, yes, but I'm also, you know, producer of content, producer of film and TV. You know what I'm saying? Now, do I feel I'm the upper echelon of those? No, but as far as showing my respect to the ones ahead of me, or for that matter, just alone those that like really are staple, yeah, no, I show respect on that. And it's the same thing, even when people sometimes want to call me a journalist, I don't necessarily call myself a journalist because I know what that takes. You know what I'm saying? To be an actual journalist. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I do my research. I do my due diligence to research whomever I'm having on my platforms, right? But in the same token, I know for me, I don't feel I'm a journalist. I may have journalistic tendencies, but you know, I don't go out and claiming like I'm a journalist. You know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying for producers, because once again, it goes back early in this episode when it's talking about understanding music theory. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you could be a producer. You could, okay, I guess with the boys, but are you really understanding what you're doing? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Also, too, sonically is key. Understanding BPMs is highly key. You know what I'm saying? Because depending on the BPMs, You know what I'm saying? You may sonically mess up the song. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
true.
In that regard. You know what I mean? Now that's what's up, but definitely let's get it with you. Like what should one expect from you? You know, what's something that what's next from you that we should expect that no one knows as far as like with your music and everything?
That no one knows. I shouldn't say no one knows, but there's a lot coming up.
Yeah, no, let's top on it.
Well, actually, this Friday I'm dropping a brand new EP called The Art Dealer. Myself and another artist by the name of Big Bags. He's out of North Carolina. So we're dropping a joint EP called The Art Dealer on Friday, 5-song EP. So that's coming. I have my artist, Tanisha Kelly, who signed to my label, Humble Sound Records.
Shout out to Humble Sound Records.
Shout out to the team. She has a brand new single called Standing On It that's coming out March 13th coming up. So we're super excited about that. This is pretty much like her comeback single. You know, a lot of people know her from her hit singles, early 2000s, you know, big pop star back then. So we're working on that. I'm in the process of working on my debut album for this summer. So super excited about that. What else we got going on, man? Working on a James Artissen documentary, coinciding with the album.
Okay.
So we working on that. Man, me and Cujo Goody from the Goody Mob, we dropping the joint project in May.
I want to hear that.
So that's gonna be crazy. The lead single's coming out in May too. Myself, Cujo, and Lil Jon. So it's a lot going on, man.
All right, nah, that's what's up. Let's go with this, man. Hold on, give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Oh no, we already got that. All right, let's get right into it, man. Bars of Cap. All right, you already know what it is, man. Bars of Cap. That's a game we play here on Cuts, where we throw scenarios at you, and you know if you feel it's a bar, you know you speak about the bar. You know what I'm saying? Cap is self-explanatory as cap. You still got to speak on it. No being on the fence. Got to be one or the other. You ready, sir?
Let's do it.
All right, bet. Let's get it. All right. Some artists think they're geniuses, but it was just a mix. Bars of Cap.
Cap.
All right, why? All right, let's go into why Cap.
Because not everybody's a genius.
Oh.
They may think they're a genius, you know what I'm saying? But it takes a lot for you to get that title.
Yo, my career. We're already letting the Ruger spray. It's just not the one question. We're already letting the Ruger. We're already letting the Ruger spray. My creatives. Oh man. All right. If the producer leaves the session, the song falls apart. Bars of Cap.
That's a bar.
Okay. Well, all right. Let's speak on it. Speak on that bar, brother.
Without the producer, you don't have nothing.
Yeah, we're not even one of those Fruity Loops. Like, damn.
Nah, see again, it goes back to the thing of a real producer. The producer is the one leading you. He's the one that's steering the ship.
Right.
So if that producer is gone, who else you got?
Nah, that's true. Now you hitting on no tag. He already my creatives. He is letting the Ruger spray off his head. All right. There's at least one hit you've heard that was carried by the engineer. Bars of Cap.
Oh, bars.
Speak on that. Yo, Remo Marak brand team. Yo.
That's a bar. I mean, look, everybody knows that there's studio singers and studio artists and all of that. So take away the engineer, that song wouldn't be the same.
All right. Studio vibes are code for we're not focused. Bars of Cap.
That's a bar.
Yo, my creatives, listen. Yo, to the team, they be sending me emails or we have conversations in our chat groups and stuff like that. And yo, you guys, what are you guys thinking? You guys are wild. Yo, but yo, it is what funny. It is. It is what it is. All right, but why bar?
I mean, what's really studio vibes anyway? Like, you know, like people put the word vibe on anything these days.
Word.
You know? So I really don't even know what the context is with that.
Words. I drive down the beach, vibe. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
All right, had a Taco Tuesday, vibe.
It's insane.
If you need 12 writers, it's probably mid. Bars a cap. Yo, where you going?
I say that's cap.
All right, go ahead. Why cap?
I mean, if you got 12 writers on a record, then it might be something wrong there.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on what's going on. Like, I mean, when I hear writer, I'm thinking people writing the record, but some people might equate the writer to, you know, another producer on the track, or another engineer, or somebody that just blurted out something to you and you use that as an idea or whatever, you know?
Right. Yeah,
because that happens a lot.
No, true. But I also want to let's add on to that, like the whole, even with ghostwriting. I mean, I get it within hip hop, it's frowned upon, but I mean, all across music, that has been the case over the years, right? As far as with ghostwriters, or let's say, okay, an artist, okay, they mentally, or they couldn't think of something creative enough to add on to it, you know. So I want to know from you, like based off of your experience, and also too, just alone of the studying of music and the industry itself and the culture itself. Why do you think it's just been such a frowned upon thing? Not just hip hop, but just overall. Like, why is that such a frowned upon thing?
You know, to be honest, I don't know. I think maybe it has a lot to do with people's egos, because, you know, again, sometimes people want to be the one man band, but sometimes you can't, and sometimes it's going to take collaboration. You know, if you're working on a record that has a whole band, and you know you're working on different parts of the record, most likely it's not going to be one person writing that whole song. You might need somebody to write the chorus with you, write the verse with you, write the bridge with you, write the pre-chorus with you, you know, come up with the melody changes, you know, with the backgrounds and the harmony structure. So there's so many different moving parts to it. So I don't have an issue with it. Like, everybody has somebody writing for them or collaborating with them.
All right, man. That's what's up.
Some people just don't want to admit that.
Right. I mean, yeah, and that's the thing. You see, and that's the thing too. And listen, and even on a hip hop sense, right? I get it. I get it on a hip hop sense, because the way it was created from the mud and the competition and everything like that. But it's like, then again, it's like, all right, if that
But I think nobody cares really about that no more. Like people just want to hear great music,
right,
and great product. Like,
right.
Nobody really cares if you wrote a whole song or not. Like, you know, and whether if you got 12 people on the song or not, is the song good? Because you can have 12 people on the song and the song might sound terrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So it's especially in hip hop, like, we got to get out of that rat race of, you know, thinking you the only one. Like, you're not the only one.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, because listen, man, at the end of the day, man, because just like as we spoke on earlier, you know what I'm saying, about what is expected of an artist now, right? The expectation. You know what I'm saying? It's not just, okay, just to lay down tracks or lay down bars or put a song together with producer and engineer, but it's like, okay, what are you doing after with the marketing? What are you doing with the content? How are you doing it with the content? What is the rollout? What type of rollout are you doing? What niche are you going to aim for the So at the end of the day, okay, if one is to have one, I mean, because you got to figure, okay, the artists themselves, they're going through a tremendous amount of things, you know what I'm saying, within their brand, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, even mentally, you know what I'm saying, that may tweak it, that may, you know, disrupt, you know, what they could do creatively. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, you know, ghostwriter. And I know the whole thing, you know, Cass is getting at Drake about and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? I get it, but at the end of the day, I mean, shit, it didn't stop the success. It didn't stop. Well, now maybe Kendrick stopped the success. No, I'm joking, but but I'm just saying, no, Kendrick didn't stop the success. Drake is Drake. Drake is A1 regardless. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, this is, it's still the product. The product is still the product at the end of the day, regardless of what you say. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up, man. But all right, politics plays a bigger role than talent when it comes to accolades, bars or cap.
Say that again?
I said politics plays a bigger role than talent when it comes to accolades, bars or cap.
That's a bar.
Okay, take us into it.
I mean, it's as simple as it's 90% business, 10% talent.
Yeah, nah, I feel you on that one, son. And I think also too, a good amount of artists, they get it so confused with that. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I get it on a creative sense because of the hours that you put into it. You know what I'm saying? But you got to think about the longevity again. It goes back to our conversation earlier. You got to go think about the longevity. You got to think about, okay, what market, the niche, what niche are we aiming for? What market is this going to flourish at? This song going to flourish at? You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's not only that, but also too, it's how do you monetize off of what you create? How do you, I mean, it trickles down to not only how you monetize, but have you even registered your music properly? Are you collecting your music, your money from your music properly? Do you even know how to do that? Do you own your music?
Shit,
you know what I mean?
Cleared.
Those are really the fundamentals before we even have the music conversation.
Right. You answered this before, but we'll definitely the team put it up here again. After your first nomination, did people treat you different, bars or cap?
That's a bar.
Okay, take it. Like, what type of difference though? You know what I'm saying? Let's really aim on that. What type of difference?
I mean, it is pretty much the same age-old story of like, some people might not see your vision. They brush you off to the side. You ain't important enough or whatever in the beginning, but as soon as you pop up on these platforms and you getting these accolades and these nominations and blah blah blah, then the conversation changes of, oh, such and such did this, oh, I gotta work with you now, let's do this, let's do that. It happens all the time.
Yeah, I mean, so not to cut you.
It's like you hot right now, you because you worked on something that they didn't, but it's the same old story of once that dies down, it's back to
square
one. Well, he ain't really hot right now, I'm gonna go elsewhere until you do something else. It's a back and forth.
Yeah, and see, and that's the thing that kind of gets me annoyed when I hear about that, right? When it comes to like a man like yourself that has a substantial resume, right? And I'm just using that word substantial, right? Substantial resume. Now, regardless of what clout is behind that resume, right? That's the key thing. That's the key caveat thing to say, right? That shouldn't even matter, okay? Because once again, you're alienating yourself for what a possibility that can happen that, okay, it could be 10x, maybe 20x your money, 30x your money. How, and that is such a sad thing in this entertainment field. And I'll even say it. I'll say the monkey in the room, even amongst us black creatives. You know what I'm saying? Just the conditionalism of it. The conditional. Everything got to be a conditional value. And it's like, bro, like if you take that out your mind and work with the person, build a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Build a quality relationship. Okay? You know what I'm saying? And see what can happen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what paperwork's for. Okay, if it doesn't work, well, put that in the paperwork, in the contract, or whatever have you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever agreement that you and artist have, or artist and producer, or what have you. You know what I'm saying? It's just you can't go into it expecting instant success, but aim for the success. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying people are not aiming for success, but I feel when it comes, because we're in this microwave era, it better be a hit now. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I guess. You know what I'm saying? That's the best thing you do, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And just like you stated, you know what I'm saying? Oh, well, now he's hot now. I'm gonna go for it now. It's like, that's dumb. That's whack to me. That's whack to me. You know what I'm saying? Especially, okay, if you were in the process of being nominated or you are nominated, right? That says a lot. Okay, you're of the top echelon of people that were considered or put in that pool to be on a Grammy stage. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. People try to like play down the Grammys, but it's still the Grammys, regardless of such. Whatever.
Right. I
Grammys.
mean, whether people like it or not, it's still a prestigious award, and it's still prestigious amongst industry peers. Whether somebody agrees with it or not, that's just what it is. It's no different than the Oscars, or it's no different than the Image Awards or anything like that. In television and film. So you know, I think people just say those kind of things because they just haven't made it to that level yet. You know what I mean? So a lot of times people just like to kind of dim your light because they haven't hit that level yet.
Yeah, no, I feel you now. Woo. I mean, we got bars of cap, brother. But you know what I'm saying? But no, but I definitely understand it. Streams don't mean you're respected. Bars of cap.
That's a bar.
Ooh, take us into that, brother. Take us into that.
I mean, we all know streams can be manipulated. You know what I mean? So I don't really see the number of streams you have of having real respect when it could be manipulated and taken away.
I want to ask you on that. I mean, I want to add to that. I want to ask you on that. Definitely with the latest with J. Cole. Shout out to J. Cole. Definitely with him going back to that format of business to consumer, but hand to hand, physical copies, and also too with latest reports about streaming is possibly losing its steam. You know what I'm saying? As far as impact per se. What's your take on that, or what do you feel about that?
Well, with J. Cole, I think that's cool. I think that's a dope marketing strategy that he's doing. I can't necessarily say how effective it's been, but I think it's a dope strategy. As far as streaming goes, streaming ain't going nowhere. Right. I think people just love to have a talking point, but it's going nowhere. And it's actually going to keep getting stronger.
Yeah, the way technology is, whew, I'll tell you, boy. Okay, here we go. You can hear when a song was made strictly for algorithm. Bars of cap.
That's a bar.
Take us into that, man.
I mean, it's really nothing new. I mean, if you really look at the biggest pop songs of the last couple of decades, I mean, it's strictly made for pop music, for pop culture. It was nothing amazing about them. It was nothing, rememberable, so to speak. It's just a catchy pop tune for the radio.
Right.
So that's I think music is just being recycled in different ways with that same format.
Right. Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Let's see. Right here. Some artists wouldn't be famous without their team. Bars or cap?
Bar.
All right, man. Speak about it.
Bar. Because you can't be successful without a team.
That's what's up.
It takes a team. It takes a team effort. No one ever makes it to a high level without a team.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, and again, man, like it comes to it, definitely with this technology that we have out here. Technology out here will make you think that it's one band, one man band. You know what I'm saying? But then again, it's like, okay, realistically, it's like, all right, after a while, it's like, all right, you're gonna need somebody else to manage this for you, and while you got to go somewhere else or travel somewhere else to be the face.
Absolutely.
And that, you know what I'm saying? It definitely comes down to, all right, man. Last one, and then we that's the one we're gonna wrap it up. Right here. Well, actually, last two, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Overthinking kills hits. Bars a cap. Ooh, yeah, he's thinking about it. He's thinking
about it. I say that's a bar.
All right.
Because when you overthink, that's more of an ideology of you're trying to oversell it. So when you just are in the moment and you're just creating and there's no expectation, that's where the magic happens. Right. You know, because you're flowing with it, you know, you're just creating. But once you start going in with a specific mindset and okay, it needs to be this, it needs to be that. And, you know, that's when the overthinking starts to come in, and then you start second guessing yourself. And then you might have other people with that same ideology talking in your ear. And then all of a sudden you're just confused. That's where it messes up the whole thing.
Yeah, no, that's just, yeah, I'll attest to that. You know what I'm saying? There's been times with my content, you know, I would think too much. You know what I'm saying? I would either look at it after I'm done with it. I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like this. Let me take that out. And then it's like, all right, I didn't save the draft of the previous one I did. And it's like, damn, maybe I should have kept, you know what I'm saying? And I get it. I think in this time, it's time and era, you know what I'm saying? It's the time and era of society, you know, because, you know, the attention span is short. And also, too, if you look at a lot of people's content, sometimes their content wasn't with great lighting and a great mic or whatever have you. They just marketed it well. You know what I'm saying? Or they just took their phone out, got it out, boom, and got it out quick. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you know, my creatives, you know, if you have what you have in front of you, just go with it. Go with it. The only thing you got to really, really worry about is how you market it afterwards. How you aim for your niche. How do you aim to get it out and distribute it? You know what I'm saying? That's the best way I could say it. You know what I'm saying? For me, you know what I'm saying? For my insight and just personal insight. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
All right, man. Last one, and then, you know, we're definitely gonna close out. Pain creates better music than happiness. Bars a cap.
I think that's cap.
All right. Let's go into it.
I think if you're not happy with creating your art, then what does it mean?
Yeah, I feel. Yeah, I think also too, and shout out to the team, but I get why they put that as, you know what I'm saying. I guess because if you're one that you not thrive off pain, but I guess the pain will ignite your motivation. But overall, as a creative, you should be happy. You should be in love with what you create. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, I get it. Sometimes pain, as far as R&B artists or even hip hop artists. You know what I'm saying? They're writing off their storytelling of what they felt. But then again, those that are happy or have been relieved of pain. You know what I'm saying? They've written or they created just as much equally potent.
I think these days it's not even really about pain. I think it's just about toxicity. I think people just are in like a toxic world, and then they just write about it, which it probably shouldn't have or it wouldn't have been a toxic situation, but people put themselves in those positions. So it's not really coming from a place of pain, because let's be real, a lot of people ain't really been through nothing like that. They think they have, but they ain't really been through nothing like that. But they put themselves in toxic scenarios thinking that's pain.
Woo. All right, James. Listen, man, I appreciate you so much pulling up. Definitely let everybody know where to follow you at, and also to, blessings to you and your musical journey and what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
You know what I mean? I definitely listen, man. I really hope the next time around, for sure, definitely you land the big one and you land that Grammy for real. Yeah, always. That's what it is, brother. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, reach out to my creators right now. Reach out to my creators. Let everybody know where to follow you at.
Yes. You can follow me all social media at James Artissen. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/James Artissen. You can go to my website as well, www.jamesartissen.com. And last but not least, the Art Dealer, my new EP, dropping this Friday. Go get it. Go stream it. Let's go.
All right, man. You already know what it is, my creators. Follow me, at Remo Marac _. Also, follow the podcast itself, Culture, Urban Tech, and Sports. You know what I'm saying? iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google, Apple, Amazon Music, DJ Chase Radio, FM, weeknights, 10 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Now this is going, my creatives. Hands over the eyes. 8 to 1, baby. It's the 2 up. Turn that 2 over. Ruger's up. You already know what it is, man. This is another edition of C.U.T.S Podcast. And we say peace.
Oh, to the garden. It's a New York sound like we in the garden. Huh? Everybody with a check ain't certified. If you look behind, they say you see a murder house.